Hi everyone, it's Tanya from Cuppa. This episode, I'm having a look at these two electrified temperature control kettles. The last year I have participated a couple of times in the World Tea Brewing Championship, and I was fortunate enough to win the Australian leg. And in China, I was number 4 in the final 8. And part of my prizes were these kettles. So I've been really fortunate to receive them. But these were also the kettles that we used in the competition as well. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me to give my feedback on how I felt about the kettles and what I find is really great about them. So the first one we're looking at is the Brewister. It is a 1.2 litre kettle. It has a 1500 watt power. And the second one is the new Fellow. Now, it is electrified Fellow. Fellow products are here in Australia, but we don't have the electrified one as yet. So mine is a prize I brought back from China with me. So I'm really super lucky to have the chance to play with this one and use it here. Now it is smaller, it is 900, that's 900 mil, and it works on 1200 watt. Now, looking at the kettles, first off, I will just say how much I really love the colors on both the kettles, because quite honestly, they match my kitchen beautifully, and the matte black is fantastic and the silver is just fantastic as well. The first thing we'll look at is on the Brewister, the lead can be pulled out. They've both got very similar length in the lead. It's probably about 600 mil long. In the Fellow one, it doesn't pull out, it is attached. I'll just pull that up there like that. So it is attached. And an obvious thing between the two is the spouts. You can see the spout on the Brewister is shorter than the one on the Fellow. There. If you put them side by side like that. So it is also the one thing you can't see here. The Fellow spout is probably about 2/3 diameter the size of the Brewister spout. So it pours a little bit slower, I should say. Now, how this affects the temperature of the water once it's come out, I'm not sure, but we'll have a look at that. The next thing I'd like to look at is the handles themselves. I find the handles are really nice. I probably have a slight preference for the Fellow handle because it has that little knob there that it's very easy. You automatically put your thumb on that to control. But you know, the handle on the Brewister is just as is nice as well. So they're just little minor details. Now we'll look at the actual base of them. In the Brewister, all the controls are set in here on the front. You have the option of Fahrenheit and Celsius. You have the option to program favorite temperatures for yourself. It does go up by the degree, and there is a hold function as well, which holds it for 60 minutes. And after 60 minutes, it does cut off, which is a good safety issue. Now in the Fellow one, they have actually simplified it. It's just tied up there a bit. It is just simply a dial that you turn here, and it shows up here on a digital face. And it is again by the degree. You have the choice of Fahrenheit or Celsius, I should say. And that's just a button on the back here. And your hold button is a button on the back here as well. The hold button again lasts for 60 minutes, and then after that it cuts out. Now the difference in the hold function between the two is that when you lift the Brewister one off, the hold function disconnects. So when you put it back down, you've got to hit the hold button again, to make sure it continues to hold. In the Fellow one, it doesn't matter how many times you pick that up, until you reset the temperature, it holds that temperature. I have to say, in a tea competition, brewing competition, that is a winning feature for tea brewers when you've only got 10 minutes and you're brewing and a couple of different infusions. You know, you don't want the temperature to go off or start to go down, or you don't want to have to worry about a hold function. So what we're going to do now is we're going to power them up. I'm going to bring them up to 60 degrees. So it's a quick rise. We'll see how quickly they come up to temperature. They're both now sitting around 20 degrees. This is Celsius that I'm talking about. And so they're both sitting around the 20. They both have 500 mils of water in them as well. So I'm trying to keep as many of the variables the same as possible. And once they hit temperature, we can measure it. I'm using the Dravelin Pro, which was recommended on another YouTube site, which is Chef Joel, which I'll put a link to it below, and he looks at it from a chefing point of view, how good this particular thermometer is. And I found it really, really good and very handy as well. So let's fire these ones up. So turning that one on, and I'm bringing the temperature down to, let's go to 60. As you can see, it is a little bit, it's at 60 now. And we've put the Fellow on, and we will put this, and this is really easy. It is now on 60. Now I've just put the hold button on, so that holds at 60, and this one is already there. So I'm going to now check the temperature. So they're both sitting, according to this thermometer, sitting about 1 degree temperature difference to what they actually say. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the actual pouring. I've got 2 little teapots here. So now I'm going to pour into the small teapots, and hopefully you can see the pour, the way they pour. And they're both sitting on 61 at the moment. Now you can see the Brewister does pour a lot quicker. And the Fellow is just taking that little bit more time. Need to get it to the same. So now let's measure their temperature. They were both 61. So the Brewister is 58.5. So that's 2 and a bit degrees it's lost. And the Fellow has lost 57.5. So it's lost an extra degree. And that I would actually put down to the slower pour. It is very cold here in my kitchen today. It's about 18 degrees. So it's not a super warm day, and it will cool things down quicker. But that's the difference just in the pour. So those are the considerations as far as a tea competition goes. I think there's still improvements that could be made with these kettles for that sort of competition. However, if you are gong fuing or doing tea sessions with people, I think the Fellow tends to win out because of that hold function. It just, you don't have to worry about constantly having to hit the hold button to make sure that temperature stays there. So as I said, this one is in Australia at the moment. The Fellow is not yet available in Australia. The Brewister is still a very, very good kettle, and I would recommend that one. And it is around $120. I will provide a link to one of the suppliers, but you do find it out there at a lot of different coffee supply places. But I'll offer a link below. It's a non-sponsored link, by the way. And Fellow, the same company has Fellow products as well. They don't, like I say, it's not available in Australia, but you can keep an eye out for it. I'm not sure what the price will be on that when it hits Australia. I just consider myself pretty lucky to have received one as part of my prizes. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It's free. If you have any other questions about these kettles you'd like answered, please pop your questions below. I'm more than happy to give you feedback on it. And see you next time.